What's up with it, King? What's up with it, Queen? Hey, this your big brother, Demont Pope, aka Mr. Purpose over Pointless Excuses. Yeah, I appreciate you for checking in today, kicking it with your partner, your brother right here on Demont Pope Speaks. And you know we speak in purpose, right? You know we representing purpose, right? Although we may be talking about entrepreneurship or business ownership, or it all boils down to purpose, all right? But look, I got another special guest for y'all today. Y'all know how we've been doing it. Hey, so listen, without any delay, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce to some and present to others because I know her, but y'all don't know her, right? Without further delay, introducing Miss Ruby Jones. I'm sorry, Mrs. Ruby Jones. Put some respect on the name. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Ruby. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Jones. How you feeling today?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I want to add one addition to the Ruby Jones, Ruby Pope Jones. But
Ooh, come on with it. Better let them know.
Yes.
Better let them know.
Pope girl.
Yeah. Come on with it. So I appreciate you for taking time out your busy schedule to come kick it with me. You understand me? Your kinfolk to add value, right? To add value to the listeners and the viewers. Because we got people who are living their life, but they're merely just existing. They're not living. Wow. So we want to kind of inspire and kind of add purpose, right, to those individuals. So without any more me yapping and running my mouth, they ain't jumped on to see me, necessarily. So listen, Ruby, do me a favor.
Yes.
Tell us who is Ruby Jones, first of all. Right? Okay. Who's Ruby Jones and what is Vicki Bloom, aka the Blooming Center? Yeah.
Okay. Well, good morning. My name is Ruby Jones. As I stated, I'm Ruby Pope Jones. I am the third of four daughters. My mother's name is Diane Victoria. My dad's name is John Henry Pope Jr. And so this we are from Educator, from East Atlanta. Third out of four daughters, the middle child for my siblings from both parents. And I am just someone who always tries to bring joy and value to each and every situation that I'm in. And so I started a company called the Blooming Center. It's probably about 10 years now. Vicki Bloom, the Blooming Center. And the name came from my mother's family name was Vicki. And my favorite quote is bloom where you're planted. And
okay.
I fell in love with that quote because regardless of where you're from, where you're going, or what situation you're putting in, the perseverance and the joy that you should exude while you're in those situations. We have in Atlanta, they have this thing where all the rappers say they got it out the mud. And so I love the lotus flower because regardless of where it is, it breaks through concrete and it just blooms where it's planted. And wow. So that's just always been my motto. It doesn't matter what situation you put me in, I'm gonna come back leading the way.
Yeah.
Being a leader, bringing joy.
Yeah. I love it. I said, you talking about the lotus flower, and I like because you educating on here. You know what I mean? I ain't really into gardening or flowers or anything like that, but you just taught me something. I always think about when Tupac say the rose that grew from concrete. You know what I'm saying? But now you putting me up on something else. See, y'all, I told you we get value over here every day. Hey, so I appreciate that. Now, listen, Mrs. Jones, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Check it out, man. Mm-hmm. Has this been something that you've always wanted to do? The Blooming Center, like assisting and educating and everything that you do within the scope of the Blooming Center. Like, has this always been a passion?
Yes, I would say yes. So Vicki Bloom, the Blooming Center, started out as babysitting and tutoring, and then it blossomed more into educational consulting and some life coaching and things like that. And so being a middle child, a middle girl in a family full of girls, I've always been that mediator, always been that advocate, always been the person to assist others educationally, spiritually, financially. And so it's something that I've always wanted to do. I just think every day as you're walking down the street, you are constantly bringing purpose to folks. And so I said, well, let me marry my head and my heart, and I can monetize this thing. So that's what I did.
Wow, let me marry my head and my heart. Like, that's deep. That's deep. Say that again. Like you said.
Yes. So what I said was I wanted to marry my head and my heart. So my head is saying I can monetize this thing. If I'm going to continue to walk this out every day and assist and help people, that I can monetize this for a greater good. So it can be a benefit financially to me, not just spiritually, but also financially. And then I wanted to marry my head and my heart, because my heart is saying assist people, but my head is also saying there is, while you're being purposeful and intentional and mindful, you have to have a balance of that head and that heart. So you won't get, I guess in the street they would say you won't get played, but spiritually, so you won't get worn out and your gift won't be cast upon pearls before swine.
Yeah. I get it. I dig it. So, hey, listen, man, I appreciate y'all. Listen, if y'all already getting value right quick, I need y'all to do what I always need y'all to do. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, right? Hit the notification bell, like this, thumbs up, you know what I'm saying? Share this, do whatever you got to do to stay plugged in so that you know when we're releasing new content. All right. It's your big brother, Demont Pope here. I'm with Mrs. Ruby Pope Jones, you did what I'm saying, of Vicki Bloom, aka the Blooming Center, right? Listen, since we know that this is something that you've pretty much always been passionate about, right? Now, as we marry a brain with a heart in situations like that, let's talk about the passion, right? I'm just gonna throw this out there, right? This is a little extra. You ain't prepared for this one, but let's talk about the passion behind the Blooming Center. Let's break it down to exactly: is it tutoring? Is it educating? Like exactly, like give us those nuggets, right?
Okay. So the largest portion of the Blooming Center is tutoring. The bulk of what I do is I meet with parents who feel like their children are having some struggling academically. A lot of times, once I get beyond that surface layer of, my child is failing a course, a lot of times underneath that, I realize that the parents are needing someone to bounce ideas and things off of, and the children are just needing some one-on-one and some attention and some affection. Majority of my clients, once you get them one-on-one, all of a sudden it's that light bulb or whatever skill or technique they could not get in class. And so it started out as tutoring, and then it blossomed or it bloomed more into just really some coaching, some life skills, and some extra love.
Extra love. And a thing I noticed that you kept saying were the needs, right? The needs of the parent, the needs of the individual child, the need. So the purpose is driven based upon supplying a need. Is what I'm hearing. All right. So I love that. I just wanted to highlight that, man, for those of us who are just casually listening. I just wanted to put something in your subconscious right quick that you can remember. All right. Because that was powerful. So I appreciate you sharing that. Now, let me ask you this, right? What is one important lesson that you would say that you've learned, right, from over your career, from not just the Blooming Center, but your educational career, your professional career before entrepreneurship? Like, what is an important lesson that you've learned?
For sure, I would say balance. Balance is the key to anything, and I think that as I said, the head and the heart balancing out how much can I give and still have me. And so balance and being self-aware. So being aware of what my needs are, what are my time constraints, what are my financial obligations, and how much light can I give and also retain enough light to still glow. And so I think balance and having balance, being self-aware are the two most that you need most in order to be an entrepreneur or thrive in the workplace.
Hey, I can dig it. Check it, right? You said balance, right? You said balance.
Yes.
So the thing that stuck out the most is when you followed it up, right? And you finished strong because you were saying self-awareness. Yes. So balance and self-awareness. You gotta know. You said you gotta know when to have enough light to give out, right? And then have enough light to keep. Like you're taking us somewhere. So I want them to know where we going with this. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't just out here freestyling. Like we got a direction, right? We got a purpose. Like we doing this intentionally, right? So listen, I love that. Self-awareness. Let's talk about self-awareness. Like you got to know when you burnt out, right? You got to know when to rest, because rest is a part of this, because it's a lot. When you go from working a specific career or a guaranteed 9-to-5 and you venture into entrepreneurship or business ownership, like you give up the guaranteed set schedule for a inconsistent, you never know, anonymous type of schedule. You see what I'm saying? Like a 24/7 grind. So the balance is very, very important, because you'll get burnt out. You can't be creative, you can't be productive, you can't do your best work. All right. So thank you so much for highlighting that for the viewers and for the listeners. And you actually taught me something there. And I knew that, but sometimes I forget that because I be so purpose driven, right? Yes. You forget, right, to take a minute and just exist. Yeah. Y'all like that? Exist. All right, cool. We just, all right, let's move on. They ain't come to see me play. All right. So Ruby, tell me this, right? In your opinion, what would be the most important personality trait or strength that a person would need to be successful in your particular industry?
Wow. Let me take a couple of seconds and think on
that. I ain't mean to hit you in your chest with that one. My fault. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's fine. I think excuse me. It's a range of characteristics that you would have to have, but
yeah, let's get into it.
Yes. But I think one of the most for sure would be compassion. So compassion and empathy for what others are feeling and going through. You cannot be in the helping field. You cannot be of service. And to be honest, you can't even be an entrepreneur, even if you are selling a product, whether you have a goods or a service. If you don't have insight, discernment, and compassion as to what's going on, you can't make your next move, whether you in sales or whether you in service. And so I think the wisdom, the insight, and compassion to follow through with that kind of gives you your next step on where to go. Wow.
So again, it's compassion. That means like let's deal with that compassion right quick, like, because you have to care, right? You have to care, and then you got to relate. You got to be relatable. You got to understand.
That's the key word.
Yeah. So I'm feeling you on that, right? Yeah. See me just highlighting stuff for y'all. You know, I love to make sure y'all get everything that you can get out of this. So, you know, Ruby, that's how I do them. You know what I'm saying? I like to let them know that we're trying to give you everything that we possibly can, because we don't want to just sit here and talk about the success that we've had, because we've had some challenging experiences. We want to inspire you to endure and overcome through the challenging experiences. So, all right, cool. I like that. Man, we talking about balance. We talking about self-awareness, right? We talking about insight. Man, listen, we getting a lot from this. I'm getting a lot from this. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. You know where I'm going with this. Hit the notification bell, like it, share it, leave a comment. We want to be on here giving you something. So if you're getting something, let us know that. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get back into it. Ruby, tell me this right now. What's the biggest challenge, right, that you're facing, and how are you handling it? Because they need to know that every day ain't just gonna be great over here. Every day ain't gonna be like, oh, I get to get up when I feel like it. I get to go to bed when I feel like it. I get to take lunch as long as I want. I get to go where I want, do what I want. Every day ain't gonna be like that. So what is a challenge that you're facing, and how are you handling it?
I think a challenge of entrepreneurship for sure is, there's always this thing where folks say, I want to be my own boss. But in actuality, when you're an entrepreneur, the clients are your boss. Each and every person that you encounter is technically feeding you, as opposed to that one entity that's feeding you. So I think the balance of organization is so important. The key phrase on my website is bloom, organize, thrive. How do I go from blooming, which is existing, being every single day, to thriving, like really doing well? Organization. Bloom, organize, thrive. And so a part of that organization is, what is my financial goal? What are my time constraints and limits? What am I willing to pour into this time? And really just writing the vision of what you want to do. So that organization piece is, I think, is the most challenging for most entrepreneurs. Financially, physically, time-wise. What can I do with this time to get to the goal that I'm trying to meet? And really thrive in my business, as opposed to just blooming. There's nothing wrong with blooming and being there and maintaining, but we want to be able to live our best life and thrive. So organization for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm glad you highlighted a lot of things, because organization is the most important. One of them definitely, if not the most important, because you have to organize, you have to have time management, and it's hard when you get up and you got 24 hours in a day, right? So you get up, you may have slept 7 or 8 hours, right? So you have the remainder of that time, you got about 8 to 12 hours to decide your own hours day by day. And if you don't have that structure, if you don't know what you're going to do, you'll find yourself with a lot of idle time or a lot of busy work, and you won't necessarily be progressive or productive. You'll just be busy doing a lot. So organization is very important, y'all. We highlight that. And listen, Ruby, tell me, in the organization of trying to figure everything out, and you telling me how you handling it, is it easy? Is it easy, or is it something that is it 1 or 2, 3 days and then you got it, or is it a process? Like let's let them know what the real is. You feel me?
I think organization is, if you're someone that it comes naturally to, I think the writing it out is one thing, but implementation is another thing. So I think for the most part, after you practice doesn't necessarily make perfect, but it makes you more disciplined. So if you get to the point where you are more disciplined, then the organization works. There are days where I do really well for multiple days, and then there are days where I fall off. And I think so being organized, but also giving yourself grace within that time given. And so right in times for you to have downtime, right in time for you to do other things you need to do, but being organized, granting yourself grace, granting other folks grace is the key.
Yeah. Granting yourself grace. Like, let's highlight that. Because a lot of times, I know me personally, I'm so self-conscious, and I'm my biggest critic. Like there's nothing you can say to me that'll probably punish me more than what I'll say about my own self and everything. So in giving yourself grace, right? Because we still figuring it out. You're still learning this. This is something new to you. Yeah, you can be taught educationally, you can be shown manually, but you still have to experience the experience and go through the process yourself. So oh man, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. And I don't know how y'all feeling, but I'm loving it. Hey, do me a favor, real quick, Ruby, before we run out of time. I wish I had more time with you, but before we get out of here and I ask another question, let the people know where they can find you, like on social media, your website. Let the people know where they can find you, because if they really getting something from this and they ready to excel and they ready to thrive, instead of just exist like you're talking about, then let them know where they can reach out to you and get that extra push so they can bloom. You did what I'm talking about?
Okay. So my Facebook page, my business Facebook page is Vicki Bloom, The Blooming Center. And my website is thebloomingcenter.com. On there, you will see opportunities to partner with me for tutoring, educational consulting, and then also life coaching. In reference to education consulting, I have worked with everything from pre-K to college age students, just preparing them for FAFSA, sitting in on IEP meetings. So that's what I mean by consulting with their education. What should your child do next? What does your child need a plan? Does the parent need a plan on how to deal with the child? So again, that website is thebloomingcenter.com. And then my Facebook page is Vicki Bloom, The Blooming Center.
I love it. All right, man. So y'all know what time it is. Y'all go ahead, check it out, man. You know what I'm saying? You can do that while you still listening and while you still viewing. But listen, don't go nowhere now. Don't go nowhere now. Do that. Do this too now. Multitask, all right? Now, listen, Ruby. Now we was talking about giving ourselves grace. Because again, you know what I mean? We're doing something, we're learning from experience, we're going through the process. It's very, very, very important, right? I need y'all to hear her and hear me as I repeat her when we talk about giving yourself grace. Like, don't beat yourself up, right? Just focus on doing your best, and your best day ain't gonna be the same every day, right? That's what one of my mindset coaches said to me, and it didn't register until a little bit after he said it. Like Come on, man. Come on. So focus on giving yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up, right? Just focus on doing the best. Don't necessarily be so goal oriented that you just forget to put your heart in what you're doing, right? Because the whole purpose of pursuing your purpose is to pursue what you're passionate about, your God-given talents, your natural gifts and abilities, the things that you can do, but others can't quite do like you, but they can do it. You understand what I'm saying? The thing that you do with absolutely the least amount of effort, right? And then you begin to perfect that thing. You feel me, Ruby? You begin to invest in it. You begin to study it. Then you begin to master that craft. And then it becomes something that you can not only find value in yourself, but you can find it in and produce value for others in it. So I love it. And that's what I see when I'm looking at the Blooming Center, because again, let's go back to being compassionate, having a heart for what you do, caring about the people in which you do it for, right? You didn't say that you caring about getting the bag or you trying to run it up. You understand what I'm saying? You said you cared about the needs of the children, the needs of the students, the needs of the parents. So I love it. I appreciate you for coming, stepping in, kicking it with your folk. You did what I'm saying? But listen, let me ask you this. What is one piece of advice, right, that you would give to somebody that's just now starting out in your industry, right? Now that they've heard about the challenges of organization, and now that they've heard about your driving force and your passion behind it and where the thought for yours originated from and how long you've been wanting to do it, what would you say to that person who wants to do it, but they may just have a little bit of fear or a little bit of disbelief in themselves, or they may not be sure of this word that we wear and call purpose?
Yes. Two things. The first thing is it has landed with you and it comes second nature to you. It's yours. That's your purpose. And so as your quote says, purpose over pointless excuses. The time has run short. As you can see with COVID and everything that's going on, tomorrow is not promised. So if you have a gift, now is the time to use that gift to serve other folks. And so the two things that I would for sure do in order to get started is research that field that you're in, but know that what you're researching that's the floor, that's not your ceiling. So that research is just giving you some ground information on that field. And then the second thing is, then you say, okay, that's the maintaining part. How do I get from that to the thriving? Is I'm going to write out what I need from this and how this is going to be unique to me. And so just that unique thing that you have going on, it doesn't matter if you walk in the store and they have the same purses. What are you going to do? How is yours going to be different? How is yours going to meet another need? How is yours going to stand out? So no, there are no two people that are like you. So that research is the base. Your personality, who you are, your characteristic, and your organization is what's going to push you into the thrive part.
Yeah. You ain't even got to stop. I'm just going to sit here and listen. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to turn the entire interview over to you. You understand what I'm saying?
You're
good. But listen, when you purpose, y'all, this is what I want you to know. Like when it's your purpose, right? When it's something that you are passionate about, when it's what you feel that you've been called to do, what you've been put on this earth to do, like you love it so much that you're able to do exactly what she said, the research. Like when we go to school, like, and we have to do research, like we don't want to do it because we're being forced to do it and it's out of obligation, right? But it's something about when it's what you want to do, it's what you said you were going to do. So you have to actually put in the work. And although we saying what we saying to you, guess what? When the message comes, the messenger has had to experience it first or is about to experience it right after it comes out of our mouth, right? So we just here to let you know that you have to take interest. So it got to be something that you love doing. You understand what I'm saying? And most of the time, just like we found out when we asked Ruby in the beginning, like, was it something that you've always wanted to do? Sometimes it's something that we already doing.
Yes.
We already doing, and we just don't realize what we're doing, or we don't know how to specifically identify it, right? So listen, we want you to take your craft serious, take your gift serious. Listen, we love to see everybody so successful, but we never ever see what it took for them to get successful. We never see the hours that they put in. You know what I mean? Case in point, like I'm gonna do a shameless plug since y'all see the purpose over pointless excuses gear. Like, let me go and hold up. Like, this is the proof to the book, right? Purpose over pointless excuses by yours truly, right? So this is the proof. I'm going through it, making whatever corrections I got to make, but it's tangible. It's in my hand. It's available for pre-order right now. But listen, I'm just letting you know it's out here. But guess what? It's something tangible, right? It's something tangible. And it took me a long time, right? You didn't see all the work that I put in. All you're going to see is a book with a shiny cover, right? A nice picture on the book. You're going to see words in the book, but you don't know how much pain I went through when I was developing the words, or the tears from writing the words and remembering the times. You get where I'm coming from? All you see is the finished product, right? The songs, all you hear is the songs, the beautiful melody, right? You hear what they playing on the radio, but you don't see the hours that's been put in, right? You don't see the many times if you done balled the paper up, threw it away, started over, right? Scribbled over it, erased what you've written. That's the process. So what we're talking about here is purpose, but there's a process with the purpose. So I just wanted to go on a little rant right quick, a little, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't even a part of the normal interview process, but sometimes you gotta express what you feel. That's the whole purpose for me doing what I do. So it's the freedom of expression, right? I get to express myself freely, but especially when it can add value. That's my intent, right? When I express myself, I want to be able to bless somebody else. Yeah, when I express myself, I want to be able to bless somebody else. And sometimes I can't do it alone. So I got to reach out to other people, right? Build a network, build a bridge. And that's why we sitting here with your big sis over there, Mrs. Ruby Pope Jones. You understand what I'm saying? And your big brother, Demont Pope over here. But listen, I know Ruby got to go. I want to keep her here because she sparked this flame and the fire is just growing from here. You understand? But I got to respect her time, as I say often, you know what I mean? Because I want people to respect mine. So treat people how you want to be treated, or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All right. Now, listen, I appreciate y'all for kicking it with us. I appreciate you for staying for the entire episode. Listen, I'll see y'all next week, right? Until then, it's your big bruh, Mr. Purpose Over Pointless Excuses, Demont Pope, and that's your big sister, Mrs. Ruby Pope Jones of Vicki Bloom, aka the Blooming Center. Thank you so much, Ruby, for coming kicking it with us. Hey, I'll see y'all next week. Yeah.